Hey everyone, I'm Sam Rosenthal, team lead,
And I'm Andreas Patasis, the producer.
and we'd like to welcome you to the world of House of Cards. House of Cards is a minimalist puzzle platformer for iPad in which you play as a child in the suburbs as you build a way to the better life. Now, we created a lot of content for this game, and we're really proud of that, but it's just too much to put in a tiny little presentation. So we're going to show you an abbreviated version of the game and invite you to play the rest of it afterwards at our demo day booth.
Suzanne, our lead artist, is going to be playing the game as we do the presentation. You'll see white dots on the screen that show where she's putting her fingers, but they don't actually appear in the game. So let's get started.
She just built a home for our character in the clouds. Let's see what happens. Go ahead and turn up the sound a little bit, Suzanne.
So the character just landed in this mysterious place, and we're going to start exploring. These first two areas are designed to teach how to play the game, not through heavy-handed tutorials, but through level design. So the player can jump across these gaps by lifting up her finger at the appropriate time. The character will even show where she can and can't jump.
So as the player progresses through the game, eventually they'll reach a point where they just can't get any further without a little bit of outside help. And here's where the cards come in. They can be used in a variety of different contexts, and here Suzanne is going to show you guys how we can use them to build a pathway when there just isn't one available.
Notice how Suzanne can bring her fingers together to collapse the cards and reuse them where needed. Let's jump ahead and meet one of the characters in the game.
Now each of the characters in House of Cards has a particular want or need that they need addressed. This guy's unfortunately a little bit lonely, so let's see what happens if we build him a house. When you build a house in this world, you also produce a friend. They start chatting, the world becomes a little bit lighter, and the player is able to progress even further.
Each card type has two different purposes. One that affects the characters in the world, and one that opens up a new pathway. In this case, the house roof acts as a ramp that allows the character to move higher in the world.
So we've shown you guys a few of the mechanics so far. Let's put them together and use them in a little bit more of a complicated area. So this guy's still looking for a friend, but he doesn't have a pathway over here to progress. There is a little pile of cards over towards the top of the screen that Suzanne is going to use to build him a path. But the way forward yet still isn't clear. Well, now that they're happy, she can go over here and use this deck. He's just going to move around a little bit. She'll build herself a new path. looks like that house isn't quite high enough. So she might have to make it bigger to make the roofs even larger. And she uses that as a ramp to get higher. Suzanne's probably feeling pretty good about herself right now, but it's not done yet. It looks like we're in for a leap of faith. She'll ease the fall. And she made it.
So we're a little bit past the halfway point, just outside of the suburbs. And here we see Wind, the natural antagonist to cards. Wind knocks over anything the player makes within a matter of seconds, and prevents the character from jumping over these gaps. There are ways to block the wind, however. So let's see how Suzanne uses these cards to block it so she can make this gap.
Over here, we have another one of our characters. This guy isn't too dissimilar from a lot of us in the room here today. He's looking for a job. So we're going to build him one by using these business cards over here. Now, the wind's shrinking the business, so he might not start off as CEO, but he'll at least have a job, and that's better than nothing. So he comes out all suited up, the world's a little bit brighter, and the wind subsides so Suzanne can progress.
In this area, the character we just met is missing, so there's no way to subside the wind. Let's see how Suzanne deals with this problem.
So she starts off by using a concept that we introduced earlier. She'll use these cards to block the wind and continue on. It gets a little tricky from here on out. Any area that's exposed in structure gets blown away, but we can actually use this to our advantage. Businesses are naturally skyscrapers, so they're just too high to cross at first. But if we let the wind clear off the exposed areas by building carefully, then we'll be able to move onward. We're going to cap off this level by using the full potential of the skyscraper with 3 stories. But you have to be really careful, because if Suzanne builds too big, it's going to blow away. So the only way to make sure that all the stories are used is to build a little bit smaller. We're going to show you one more level in our demo. This one combines a few of the elements that we introduced earlier as well, but we also add in the other character. So Suzanne's going to build a business first, and let the wind clear off the top. Not too much of a problem just yet. But you're not able to jump in the wind, so we're going to have to find a way to subside it. The social climate is lifted when the characters become happy, so building this guy a job will make it easier for her to progress. But being happy isn't always best for you. In this case, she doesn't have a platform to continue on.
So here, Suzanne built another business, and then is tormenting this guy by taking away his job. And so she can get across to the next platform and move on.
Just one more gap to cross. Let's see if we can finish this area off with everybody happy. And one more skyscraper. And that concludes what we're going to show you today for our demo. But we have much more content, about an hour's worth, that we're ready to show you in our gallery space. We invite you to come play some of the more complex areas later today.
If the House of Cards team could please come up.